Nita's a prime example of a brawler whose viability for most of her existence was only really carried by the heist game mode. Let's take a look as to why. Nita is a damage dealer who I'd argue functions similarly to a tank. She has great wall peek to utilize cover to her advantage, and just like most other tanks, uses health to gain an advantage in lane. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. She also has a consistent main attack that functions like Ashes, trading raw damage output for a fast reload, unload, and attack speed. She does lack range, though, and while most other tank characters make up for it with speed and raw health, Nita doesn't have that. As a result, she's very weak to any brawler with a longer range than her, and relies on walls to push up the map while avoiding those long-range attacks. Remember when I said Nita uses health, but not necessarily her own? Well, her super spawns a bear with similar health to her, but moves slowly and has a melee swiping attack. This is a great introduction to spawner characters, as Nita is the second character you unlock. The good thing about having a spawnable as your main tanking device is that you can't charge your super off it, but the drawback is that your health is nullified against a splash brawler, since spawnable brawlers usually split their tankiness among their spawnable and themselves. Since those marksmen she's weak to rarely have splash attacks, her bear is a very good way to make her bad matchups into good matchups. Nita is unique in that with her bear, she doesn't suffer from the weaknesses that other tanks do and still retains their strengths. But once her bear is down, she's weak to basically everything. This means her primary game plan is to rely on her wall peek to charge super, then summon the bear and absolutely demolish her opponents. Even if the bear dies, she still gets close enough to kill the enemy. This seems like a fine recipe, right? Not too conceptually broken in any game mode, and very conceptually unique and viable. Well, it was a fine recipe, until the second star power update hit, and she was given Hyper Bear. Hyper Bear is a star power that doubles the attack speed of the bear. The greatest thing about Nita was that she could output damage with her bear against the heist safe, without really being in danger of getting killed, but doubling that damage started to go into broken territory. Suddenly, Nita in heist was not just a good strategy, it was broken. You literally just had to charge one super and plop down a bear next to the enemy spawn to make quick work of the safe. She didn't receive many balances after that, but for a while, the only reason she was relevant in the meta was because of heist. When second gadgets dropped, she was given faux fur, which gave her bear a shield. Guess which strategy was made infinitely more annoying? Let's fast forward to the present day. Now that heist has so many more broken brawlers, like Chuck and Colette, Nita is no longer the ultimate pick. Since she isn't the top pick in heist anymore, it made more sense to buff her in ways that improved her performance in all modes. She was used a little bit recently in Gem Grab, but overall, hypercharges steamroll her since her bear gets taken down easier and it's harder to land her attacks with the hypercharge speed boost. Jessie suffers from a similar problem, but in a slightly different way. One that has more important consequences. I will cover this in a later video. Thanks for watching. Watch this video, or this playlist, or subscribe.